Now to some more bad news for the Green Zealots today. The resources giant Glencore is staring down the ESG purists and walking back plans to move away from coal, instead opting for profits over environmental virtue signalling. And why wouldn't Glencore do that when coal historically produces between a third and half of its earnings? Joining me now to discuss this, environment editor at The Australian, Graham Lloyd. Well, the CEO of Glencore, Gary Nagle, said he had this change of heart after feedback from shareholders supported the retention of coal. In fact, 95% of them backed the move. We're told, Graham, so often that shareholders are the one that demand divestment from coal, but 95% is pretty clear they want to stay in the coal game.
Yes, good evening, Peter. Well, this is the thing. A lot of the noisy shareholders that are making these demands are generally pension funds and other groups that have made the investment particularly to advocate for decarbonisation and other measures. Glencore's looking at the bigger picture here, and it's saying that the numbers show that coal use continues to rise. A replacement for coking coal in steelmaking is a long way off. There's a real business here. And so it's decided it's going to stick in the coal game, and it's saying that the big trend in ESG, environmental investing, is that people are losing their faith in this. They're moving away from it in the United States, and we can see that trend starting here as well.
And we know we talked about this last week, but a lot of companies have no intention of getting to their 2030 targets. A good proportion of them haven't even started. So I think shareholders are saying, you know, we're calling this out. Do you think other companies now might be emboldened by what Glencore's done?
Well, I think companies set targets off into the future, and the future has a habit of coming into the present time frame. And we're seeing companies that have made big calls start to moderate what they think they will be able to do. And that includes getting out of things like fossil fuel businesses when there's clearly still a demand for it, and it's a very profitable enterprise.
Right, let's give credit where credit's due. West Australian Labor Treasurer Rita Saffioti is saying that economic and energy security can't be thrown out the door when assessing environmental impacts of gas projects. This, of course, relates to the $30 billion, I'll say that again, Browse project off the WA coast, which is now under serious doubt after WA's EPA, its environmental body, formed a preliminary review that the project was unacceptable. Now, what do they mean by unacceptable? What are the grounds for the EPA's objections?
Well, as you say, Peter, this is a preliminary decision, and the EPA has raised concerns about whale migration, the pygmy blue whale, some nesting sites for turtles, and the possibility of oil spills or accidents on the Scott Reef off the coast. Now, the Browse development is Australia's largest undeveloped gas field. Woodside has been trying for many, many years to get this developed. It was thwarted on plans at James Price Point near Broome, and then came up with the idea to pump the gas down 900 kilometres down the coast to existing facilities. It is part of Western Australia's long-term horizon for staying in the gas business, and this is why the state government is very concerned that it's going to be frustrated, because what we're seeing is Woodside already is starting to make big multi-billion-dollar investments in other countries, and if it becomes too difficult to invest here, they'll simply go, and that is bad news for Western Australia.
Square this circle for me. Why do the whales in WA matter when it comes to a gas project, but the whales off the coast of New South Wales with a wind farm don't matter, nor do the eagles in Tasmania when it comes to wind farm approvals?
Well, that's a circle or a square that can't be circled. I think the whales need to be considered in all instances. And I think there's a pretty strong case that the impact from the seismic on renewable developments close to shore in known whale habitat areas is something that needs the same amount of attention, and there needs to be a credible plan to mitigate any impacts.
Graham Lloyd, thank you. If you want to know how we pay our way as a country, it's through developments like that $30 billion Browse program, and obviously the money that Glencore pays Canberra after it exports our coal. And when you look at that childcare bill, this is what matters.